Hi, I'm Kendall Bayne. I'm 15 years old. I was diagnosed with adrenal cortical carcinoma on Valentine's Day of 2011. I love school. I'm a competition cheerleader, and I have danced for 13 years. Basically, just like I was really active and running a lot, and like skiing is my favorite like pastime to do, I guess, hobby. And just basically doing all the things I love. And I danced for 13 years. That weekend, it was like a 3-day weekend, and so we went skiing. And I fell. It was just one time, just on my right side. Like, it wasn't even a big deal. It didn't even hurt. But what that did was it caused my tumor to start bleeding. And so the next day at school, Monday, I was in just terrible pain. So I texted my mom from school to come get me. So we went to just like the pediatrician, and they told me to lay down on the table. But when I laid down, it was like excruciating pain. And but the doctor said it was just fine, and my mom like told him I don't complain of anything, and so they said come back that week for an ultrasound. And so I went home and took a nap for like 30 minutes, but when I woke up it was just awful. So I went to the emergency room, and they did a CT scan, and they found that I had a 11 centimeter tumor on my adrenal gland. I was kind of thinking like I'd go there and they'd be like, oh, nothing's wrong with you, but it was just like I was not expecting them to say I had a tumor. And also, like, I guess just being so young, like, I wasn't really like, I knew I'd have surgery, but I didn't really think like cancer. Like, I wasn't really thinking. So I just like I was worried just because it sounded just not good. But I mean, I didn't think like that it actually ended up being cancer. The main thing was I just wasn't expecting it to be that. Like, I thought maybe like appendicitis, but not a tumor. And also for it to be so big. Like, it had been there for about 2.5 years, this tumor had. So it started growing about like 7th grade. So just crazy how it had gone so untraced, and like no one knew it was there. But I'm really interested in things, and so I got right out of my bed and I went to the screen to look at it because I wanted to see it. And so at 5 in the morning I was running around the ER. My one thing was I told the doctor I want a picture of the tumor, and the OR camera was broken, but he knew how bad that I told him, so he took it on his BlackBerry. I mean, the way I look at it is like, if you have a bad attitude, you're not going to get better. And like, I could be laying in bed all day and like complaining of how much pain I'm in, and like every time I get a needle, like I could just be freaking out, but it's like, I mean, you're not going to get better, and there's no other choice. Like, people are like, what makes you... I mean, there's no other choice but to do all this, so. And my dad, like, he's always, like, checking with me. He's like, we're not going to do anything you don't want to do. But, like, I have the complete opposite. I'm like, no, like, I'll do, like, anything. They've been good. I think once I finally got a plan, like, I think they were better. Because at the beginning, like, my cancer is really rare. And, like, my doctor here has never seen it before, so I'm her first patient. So it was just kind of, like, there was nothing for me, and there was no one knew what to do. But that's why we went to so many different hospitals and just trying to find out. But like, once I got in at Duke and started having those surgeries, I think things started looking better because I mean, they were taking the tumors out. So the problem with me is my tumor is like a 40-year-old's tumor, but I'm only 15, and so I can't get like the medicines that they treat adults with. So my doctor there is actually an adult surgeon, but he agreed to take me because like we had some doctors who wouldn't, because I mean, I'm technically a ped. So I have adrenal cortical carcinoma. It's a very rare cancer, like 1 in every 2 to 3 million kids will get it. And it's cancer of your adrenal gland, which is a tiny gland, and it sits on top of your kidneys. And when I had my surgery, they actually took out my gland, so I only have 1 now. Yeah, I've had 10 tumors so far. I've had 4 surgeries. I had my first surgery to take out this tumor in February, and it was an 11-hour surgery. And then I had 5 tumors in this long. So they did that in October. And then I had 3 in the right, so they did that in January. And then I got a scan, and there was 1 more over here. And so I had an ablation, which is like a different type of procedure, and I had that 2 weeks ago. That's been like the worst because I was so like athletic, and I never got tired or anything because I was just so active. But now, like, walking up steps, it's just, I get so winded, and like just taking a shower, like if I take a shower, then I have to like lay on my bed and drink like a water to like, and I have to like stage it, like I have to shower in my mom's room, I got it down, And because my bathroom cannot be steamed up if I have to dry my hair, because then it's too hard for me. So I have to shower in my mom's room and then go to my room. My spine is really curved because when I'm having surgeries, like I'm favoring the side that hasn't had surgery, and so like my back is like always in pain just because of how much like it's taken. So like when I walk, like my shoulder will be down, so my back's like really curved, and that's like really hard. Like I think I've surprised myself too at like how strong I am, because I didn't know that. But and they always ask me like how I do it, but it's like when you're faced with that, like you don't really have another choice, like I said earlier. And I really hope to, like, when I'm cancer free, like give back to everyone, because a ton of people have helped me, and I want to like try to inspire others and like get adrenal cortical carcinoma out there. My relationship, well, to me they're not doctors, like we're more like family members almost, like that's how they treat you. And I mean, they see me and I'm so young, and like all they want to do is help you. Like I always say, like you never know how much all this support's going to mean until you're actually the one going through it. It's like my little quote. But like I used to hate needles, and like if I got a shot, like I would beg and just no. And it's like once you're diagnosed with cancer, it's like you have no other choice. And I mean, I've gotten sticked probably hundreds of times, and it's just like there's no point in complaining. It's like every time you're getting sick, they're helping you. And I mean, I've been introduced to all these machines and surgeries. Like the only surgery I've had is my tonsils getting taken out. And then, like, I'm having all these crazy surgeries, like major surgeries. And it's just like, you basically just have to step up. But I mean, there's really no other choice. So it's like, no matter how old you are, you just have to stay positive and just really try and be as normal. Like, try and have a normal life. That's what I hang out with my friends, and I don't let cancer stop me. Like, it's not going to. So, I mean, I just keep doing what I'm doing. But it's just really different. Like, last year, I would go to school, and it's just like some days just like there's so much to complain about. But then now it's like there's nothing to complain about. Yeah. I mean, you're lucky, and just keep like a positive attitude. So there's like you can't take anything for granted, because this can happen to anyone, and you never know like what your next day is going to be. I mean, I was going skiing, and then the next day I'm in the hospital, and they tell me I have cancer, and I'm going through all this stuff, and it's just crazy. And so 99.9% of adrenal tumors are benign, and that's called pheochromocytoma. But then there's 1.1% that are cancerous. And so he said, like, that my doctor was telling him, like, trust me, like, this is so rare. And then mine was cancerous. But, you know, I didn't have any chemo. I just had surgery and scans. And so, like, it wasn't until August when it really hit me. Like, they said, oh, you have all these that's when I was just, like, I really sunk in that I did have cancer. It's been good. He is like the best thing that could ever happen to me, because he really, even my dad will say it, just he always keeps a smile on my face, and just like we're going through this together too. And I mean, and and I remember I used to be worried that that my hair was gonna fall out, and that like I was really upset about that. And I remember he told me, he's like I didn't fall in love with you for your hair, like I fell in love with you for you. And like he's just really just matured a lot, and he's going through it with me. It's like we both, you know, he's right there beside me. So I mean, it's kind of like I'm sort of proud of them, of my scars. Like they don't really bother me. And some of my friends would joke, because I went to the beach, and everyone's like, oh, she got attacked by a shark and like all this stuff. But I mean, they don't really bother me. It's just like kind of a reminder. Like it's just weird. Sometimes I see pictures of myself. Like I have 6 scars right now, and sometimes I'll see pictures of myself without them, and it's just kind of weird to look at them. Like I don't really like to look at them. Definitely my family, my brother especially, because we've never like fought with each other ever. We've always been like, we always get along. But our relationship now is just so different, and it's like every night he's like, I love you, and it's like not many siblings say that to each other, you know. But I'd say my dad is a very special one. Like he is always doing like research, trying to find the best thing for me, and like he's the one who's got me into all these hospitals, and we always go on, like when I have to get scans, it's always me and him. And so he's definitely like a very like special one, and he's right there with me, definitely. I just really want to like show people that like it can be done, and like I'm 15 years old, and I've had a crazy year, but just really encourage, and not even like with cancer, like encouraging people to do like anything, like if they're having like a bad time, like it doesn't have to be related to cancer. So like if they're just showing them like that anything can be done, and if you're having a bad day, like it can get a lot better. I would just say you have to keep going. I mean, when I found out I had cancer that 1 in 3 million people get, it kind of seems like, well, no one gets this. And then I find out that my doctor has never even seen it. But it's like, you cannot give up. Like no one knows like how long. Like if they say, oh, you have 2 months to live, no, you don't. You can do anything. And I mean, I've seen people like make miraculous changes that have had cancer in my family and stuff. So it's just, and always keep a positive attitude and always keep smiling. And I just think it'll get better. Well, I mean, one thing I guess I would add would be doctors are like great people and they help people, but it's like they don't always know everything. Because I was having pain actually for 4 months. When we'd run for cheerleading, like sometimes I'd start crying and I'm like, this is like terrible. And I'd go to the doctor, and like every time they sent me home and they said I had a urinary infection, and that they just like, no, you don't have anything wrong with you, and they just put me on antibiotics. It's almost like they started to think we were crazy. But it's like something is like clearly wrong. And even that doctor, like when I just like laid down, he's just like, nothing's wrong with you. Like you have to tell them like, yes, something is, and you have to do something about it, I would say. Because like if I hadn't have fall skiing, then that cancer would have just spread, and it would have just gotten even bigger. And we would have found it because the tumor would have almost like bulged, like you would have felt it, and then it could have been like too late. I would have never thought I would have had cancer. And a lot of people do, but it's like cancer, especially these days, unfortunately, is happening to everyone. I mean, you could almost find every family that someone's had cancer. And so it's like, I mean, the people who are fortunate not to, it's like you should enjoy everything. And you should just always have good days. And that's what I have now. Because before, I know sometimes I'd have bad days too. Yeah. And now, I mean, I still have bad days, but it's like I'm doing a lot better. I could be in a lot worse situation. Like right now, I could be in a hospital, like just with no one could help me. So I feel like I've been very blessed, and that you should just always have a good attitude. So a doctor at St. Jude, his name's Dr. Ribeiro, he was like, because it is so like rare. So he was like, I think it'd be good for Kendall to meet this guy. His name is Jared. And Jared lives in New Jersey, and he's 15 now, but he had ACC when he was 7. And he's doing fine now. And so that's been really cool, because we text each other all the time, and whenever I have surgery, he's like, you're doing so good, and like all this stuff. So that's been really cool, just to like meet someone, because he's the only one. Like it's like only me and him on the whole like East Coast. Like it's weird. So it's really cool to be able to talk to him, and he's been like a really big influence. I don't think he knows that, but he has been. Yeah. My dad says like some people, they just don't know how to handle it. Like what you said, they just like freak out. But I would say like we're the same as you. Like me and Ma have cancer, but you can't see that from the outside. And I would just say, I mean, just come up and talk to us. Like I'm still the same Kendall I was 2 years ago. And I mean, I still want to talk to everyone. I'm Kendall Bayne, and I relay so no kid will ever have to have cancer.